Hello everyone, this is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give my Season 1, Episode 1 review of Love. So, basically, in this episode we meet the characters of Mickey and Gus, and they're in two separate dysfunctional relationships. So, Mickey's basically dealing with a man-child, essentially. He's like in his early 30s, he's irresponsible, I don't think he even has a job, and he still lives with his parents. And Mickey, I believe she's been dealing with him for like several months or a couple years actually, on and off. And she's basically tired of it. She talks to her neighbor, and I believe her neighbor gives her some ambience. And ambience was kind of given to her to kind of find a way how to deal, with her boyfriend. When it comes to Gus, Gus seems to be in a very loving relationship with his girlfriend, but basically find out like a little bit later that his girlfriend feels as though Gus is like too nice, and she feels as though like there's nothing worse than a fake nice guy instead of an a-hole. And Gus is like really confused by this. He's like, okay, what's the big deal, And she basically blurts out to him that she slept with another guy, and obviously Gus was pissed off about it. And Gus was saying, you know what, it's over, but we can still remain friends and all that. She's like, that's what I'm talking about. You're a fake nice guy. Like, why do you want to be friends with me? So on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. So Gus leaves. So he moves to, I believe, Springwood Apartments. And there he meets some new friends, especially some new college people. So while he's basically invited to a party, Mickey gets a new roommate. I forgot her roommate's name. Her roommate's Australian, and she seems to be pretty cool, and laid back. So I believe Mickey, during one of her Ambien trips or something, she's called by her boyfriend to go, ex-boyfriend at this point, because she broke up with him early in the episode. But she's called to meet him at a certain location. Now, before we get to detail about that, we basically have a scene with Mickey at her job. I believe she's a radio programmer, something along those lines. And her boss is Dr. Greg Coulter, and he gives advice to people who are going through relationship problems, suicide problems, depression, stuff like that. And for some reason, he comes off as kind of being like a jerk and an a-hole, and kind of an ussy, Basically, he asks Mickey to fire Rob, essentially one of her coworkers, because he thought Rob was too nice, and because Rob asked him if he liked him, as a producer and all that stuff, which Mickey never got, because she's just like, well, he's nicer than both of us and he does the job well. He's like, we should just let him go. You do it for me, please. So she fires Rob over the phone while she's heading towards the place her ex-boyfriend, her on-off boyfriend, basically texted her to meet him at. So it's not a club as she expected. I'm sure if she thought it wasn't a club, she wouldn't be wearing that one piece, that she had on. So it's basically like a church service, something along them lines. And they talk about the importance of love and connection, all this stuff. And the ambience kicking in, basically, Mickey's on a plane, literally. She's into it. She's lit. She's lit. And near the end of the service, she's basically like, listen, like, I used to think that all the guys I used to get with in high school, I used to think they had it, like, correct. Like, their life was going somewhere when it came to love, because they had the kids, the babies, and all that stuff. But she realized that maybe they don't have it all together. That, there's more to love than just a happy family. And she's been trying to figure out what love is, because it seems like every time she tries to bring some love into her life, it just causes nothing but pain, chaos, and tragedy. And she basically apologized to her ex-boyfriend, saying that she doesn't really love him anymore. And she bounces, basically. Now, in regards to Gus at this party, he even gets involved in a little threesome, but he stops, ironically, when the action's really about to get hot and heavy. So they meet each other, ironically, at a convenience store. And it's kind of funny how this happens. Now, basically, Mickey is kind of hungover and still down the dumps about, basically her past love failures, and like especially recently with her ex-boyfriend. So she basically gets a coffee. She's at the register, and the guy's like, well, it's 2:35, and she's like, oh crap, I think I left my wallet, at my place. I'm good for it. I'll give the money plus interest. You see me every week, so just let me slide just this time, and so on and so forth. But he's like, no, I want the 235. She's like, are you freaking kidding me? And she's really about to climb over the register to handle this dude. But Gus stops it. He's like, you know what? I'll pay for it. Everything's all good. So that's basically how the episode, kind of ends, And with her basically insulting his entire family, which she makes clear that she's met the majority of them, like his overbearing mother, his old-looking brother, and his creepy uncle that always tries to make some flirtatious, passes at her. And that he's basically a tragic, fat, loser fuck, essentially. But yeah, that's mainly all that happens, in this episode, you guys. If I missed anything, please write some comments down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Josh Vision.